angle as a community leader, I have seen a lot around me.
Okay.
Aside, I'm trying to combine both Nigeria and the UK because I came from Nigeria.
Absolutely. Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
so I'm trying to combine that to context. So I began to see a lot of things around that call for attention. We can't personally, I can't see a challenge and look away. So a
Okay.
challenge calls usually calls for me to say, okay, what can you do? What can you do?
What's
So
the
the call
solution?
to action, the call to the call to action to do something, then brought me into seeing how we can actually see what can be done to help both the community, to help the young people that are growing,
Yeah.
to help and the people around us.
Hello and welcome to African Voices platform. I'm Tchiyiwe Chihana. Across our communities, many of us are asking the same questions. How do we raise young people with confidence and a strong sense of identity? How do we bridge the growing distance between generations? And what does it actually mean to rebuild the village in a rapidly changing world? Today's guest has dedicated his work to exploring these questions through leadership, community engagement, and practical tools for dialogue. He is helping families and communities reconnect across generations. He's the cultural lead at Purposeful Tribe CIC, where he leads initiatives focused on youth empowerment, cultural engagement, and community cohesion. He is also the author of Coping with Generation Y, a book that examines the changing relationships between generations and challenges to listen more intentionally to young people. He is also the creator of the Village Circle, which is a framework designed to strengthen relationships through honest intergenerational conversation. Temi, I have given our audience a brief introduction, but no one tells their own story better than themselves. So, welcome to African Voices platform. And how would you personally describe yourself to our audience?
My name is Temidire Meroko. I'm from a family, very big family, but away from the big family from Nigeria. I grew up in a culture in Nigeria um, where people have a kind of connections with one another, where virtually everybody in the community knew one another,
Yeah.
where elders could correct the young ones without any interruption, without fear of being blamed or fear of being sued for any form of for any reason. And but when I became a parent and also as a youth leader, youth mentor, community leader, I began to see a shift in what we have currently in today's world. I began to see young generation of young people that have a lot of information to themselves, but have access to people that can actually help them. Just
Okay.
compared to what we had growing up, and that actually spurred something in me that okay, why the difference? And if we have the difference, something has to be done. And I decided to be part of the solution that we create a space where young people can feel heard, feel supported, and feel valued, and can
Right.
have the right environment that can help them be the right people they have been designed to be. So that's a brief about me.
Right. Okay. So I decided to theme this conversation around rebuilding the village,
Okay.
generations, identity, and raising young people in a changing world. And it sounds like you've kind of summarized all that. Um, but what's your professional journey before you arrived at this calling? I would want to call it a calling.
Okay. Thank you. So, after graduating from university, I joined the banking sector. So that
Mhm.
professionally, joined the banking sector, spent some years there, and later joined a consulting firm where I became a consultant. But professionally, I'm a strategy consultant where I help SMEs, um, companies, be it small or big, to even fine tune whatever they are going through. Um,
Mhm.
be from for example, if I'm working with a startup for
Mhm.
instance, I help the person to from ideation to launching,
Yeah.
looking at what their challenges are, and
Mhm.
see how we can help them. So that's professionally. And but away from professional angle, as a community leader, I have seen a lot around me.
Okay.
Aside, I'm trying to combine both Nigeria and the UK because I came from Nigeria.
Absolutely. Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
so I'm trying to combine that to context. So I began to see a lot of things around that call for attention. We can't personally, I can't see a challenge and look away. So a
Okay.
challenge calls usually calls for me to say, okay, what can you do? What can you do?
What's
So
the
the call
solution?
to action, the call to the call to action to do something, then brought me into seeing how we can actually see what can be done to help both the community, to help the young people that are growing,
Yeah.
to help and the people around us. So yeah.
Okay, you're right. And was there a defining moment that convinced you that your work needed to focus on families? Was there a particular moment? I know you spotted gaps, but was there one moment that said, actually, let me pivot towards this?
Oh, okay. Yeah. For talking about defining moments,
Mm-hmm.
I will let me take you back a bit to growing up as well, because it's
Mm-hmm.
not just one factor that actually influenced my decision to want to look into community building or to
Mm-hmm.
see what I can see do to help our young people and the community at large. Uh,
Mm-hmm.
Growing up in Nigeria, there used to be the time where we used to watch more programs like the Village Headmaster. The Village Headmaster is a family program that
Mm-hmm.
ensure that families every week would come together to sit at the TV. Everybody would sit down and we watch the program. The program would talk about stuff around the cultural identity. The program also preaches. Let me use what preaches. The word preaches growth,
Yeah.
preaches resilience, uh, community development, and the whole lot of things. So
Mm-hmm.
that kind of program that I watched growing up impacted me a lot growing
Right.
up, and then coming down here also, I I see people and I see maybe young people that I believe that they have a lot inside of them, but the challenge is do they have the right space to for the right connection? Do they have the right space to have the right conversation? Do they have, because sometimes when I have engagement with them, I see a lot of
Mm.
them having challenges with identity. They are asking, who am I? Where
Yeah.
am I
Yeah.
going?
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
Who some are struggling with who to mentor them. I see young people that are looking for my parents, possibly our parents are not understanding where I'm coming from. Some of them are struggling with
Mm-hmm.
that kind of challenge. So they believe that some parents in general, not just the young people, they believe that I am your parent and I tell you what to do. And they not understanding that what we have today is different from what it used to be.
Yeah.
Parenting today is different from what parenting used to be in the past. But a lot of parents they are still struggling to understand that fact, and so that's listening to young people and listening to other parents too that are saying, "Oh, I don't know how to connect with this child." So
Yeah.
I've had some parents that are saying, "I don't know where I may sit." Before now, this child used to listen to me when I advised him prior to now, before he grew up to this level, when I advised him, he will listen, but now he doesn't listen to me again, or she
Um,
doesn't listen to me, she doesn't come home, or possibly she doesn't trust me. So young people, some of them, they are having challenges having to trust their parents. Parents are struggling to connect with their own children,
yeah.
and the communities are also they are struggling to rebuild trust. They are struggling
Mm.
to connect with the people that they have in them. So all of those challenges, like I mentioned, that when I see challenge, they call on me light. So I began to see that is we can't see these things and keep quiet or fold our hands that, oh, I'm fine, and then when someone is not fine, that is none of my business. So all of those things then, as as someone that wants people to feel better, because I believe that
Hmm.
when someone is healthier, an individual that is healthier, we breed a family that is stronger, and a stronger
Yeah.
family we eventually breed a community that is healthier as well. So, and ultimately we have a better society. So it needs to to make my own input, make my own impact, then
Yeah.
spurred me into going into what I'm doing today. Thank you.
I like that. I really like that. Do you know, I've been wondering when you're speaking about the how parenting today differs from parenting back then because of a changing world, and so we need to be more adaptive. Is this are you speaking more about diaspora children, or are you speaking about children anywhere in the world?
Uh, Children all around the world in general,
Right.
because it's not about children in the diaspora. It's not only
Mm,
about parents in diaspora, because even
mm.
parenting back home,
Yeah.
the same challenge is happening. And
Mhm.
why do we have it? Why do we have that kind of challenge? One of the reasons why we have that kind of challenge is the issue of technology. But
All right.
should we say
Mhm.
that technology is bad in its entirety? The answer is no, because if without technology, we may have this kind of conversation.
We
I'll probably be
wouldn't.
in the office
Yeah.
right now. So it's not bad, but why technology has brought us together globally,
Yeah.
it oftentimes disconnects us locally. So, and the lack of understanding of people to see, okay, are we why are we separated from one another? Like having social isolation. Before now, parents would have like I mentioned earlier that
Mm.
growing up, we would on a weekly basis we would watch programs like the Village Headmaster. Um,
Mm.
we watch the village masquerade or something like that growing up, the
Yeah.
Takes by
Yeah.
Moonlight, whereby every child in the evening on a Sunday will sit around the black and white TV and be
Right.
watching, not the color TV.
Yeah.
We sit down and be watching. And after the programs, parents will ask their children, what did you learn from what you just watched? And after that, children will also be analyzing. But today you have either here in diaspora or back home, we have a lot of parents, but even while eating, they are on their iPad, right?
Absolutely. Yeah, we
Mommy
see
is on the
that.
phone,
Yeah.
daddy
Yeah.
is on another phone, John is on
On
one
the
iPad.
TV screen. Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So even though technology has brought a lot of development, without knowing it here that way, a lot of people are having a kind of disconnection, and that
Mm.
disconnection, if is not being well handled, can cause a total dysfunction in the society. So it's not a function of
Right.
whether people that are in diaspora, is a
Yeah.
global thing entirely, because we have technology
Mm.
in the United Kingdom, or maybe in the those are in Canada, US, whatever.
Yeah.
They also, there's technology also in Africa as well.
Shall we talk about the book itself then in that case? Yeah.
Yeah.
How did you arrive at the title Coping with Generation Y?
Oh, thank you. Coping with Generation Y came as a result of my experience personally. I will talk about my own personal experience.
Mm.
As a parent, I see that not sometimes, when I have a relationship with my children and we're asking conversations, and we'll be talking about say flow, I will call her flow. Can
Mm.
we have this done? And she will ask, why do we have to do that? And
Okay.
and let me talk about my
Mm.
younger daughter. She's just about 5 plus now. I was okay, Adora, can we have this thing sorted? And she would say, okay, Dad, why should we do that? Why should I have to go to bed? And there was a time that our mom was every pregnancy, and we in the night we wanted to pray, and I said, okay, let's pray. And she said, why do I have to pray when mommy is sleeping? It's not fair. And I needed to begin to explain to her, mommy is not joining us now because she is heavy. Mommy is not
Yeah.
joining us. So she was asking why. And away from my own family, and
Mm.
I've seen other people in the community questioning virtually everything. They question authority, not because they are defiant, not because they want to be arrogant. They are questioning authority, they are questioning faith, they are
Yeah.
questioning virtually everything. You tell them something, and why do they have those questions? Because the answer is not far fetched. Because when, unlike in the past,
Mm-hmm.
when parents, or when we were trained to obey, we didn't have the audacity or temerity to say, okay, if my father told me something to do something, it was never possible for me to say, why should I do that? Why should
You
I go to
just
bed
do
now?
it. Yeah.
It's like when they gave the order, you must obey, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
But today it's not like that again, because why do we have that? Children of today have access, like I mentioned earlier when we began the conversation, they have access to a lot of information that
Yeah.
parents themselves don't have answered for. And when you tell them something, they can fact check it with 10,000 responses in within 10 seconds. As you're telling them something, they are checking it on Google whether what daddy is saying is true, what mommy is saying
Absolutely.
is true.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
if
Yeah.
you falter in any way, you realize that you are losing that child, because you begin to say,
Yeah.
that is not correct. That is stupid. I think that is stupid, because everything
Mm-hmm.
that says is not correct. But in those
Yeah.
days, we didn't have access to the internet.
Until later, as you grew, that's when you found out stuff. Yeah. Yeah. I know what you
Exactly.
mean. Yeah.
If we
Yeah.
needed to watch any movie, especially for those that were a bit stubborn growing up,
Mhm.
you will see maybe they wanted to watch like porn. They needed to wait in the night when everybody
Oh,
will have
yeah.
slept. But today, children don't have to struggle with that. Even on their phone, either they are calling for it or not, those things just
Yeah.
flow to them naturally.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
they have
Yeah.
a lot of struggles, a lot of challenges. So
Mhm.
then seeing all of those challenges that today's our children are facing, then what can we do? We can't keep quiet saying those
Okay.
things. Then I began to engage with parents. What challenge do you have with your own child? What
Yeah.
challenge do you have with your own child? Maybe I engage with faith leaders. I engage with community leaders as well. What challenge or challenges do you have people in your community bringing to you as per
Mhm.
parenting? Then I we did some recordings, then also did some other findings, some other researches online, bought a lot of books, then decided to say, okay, how do we then cope with this generation that will always question virtually everything? So that's where we came up with
Oh, I
coping with
see.
generation one. Because if
Suffering.
you don't understand how to engage with them,
Yeah.
you will losing them. And
Did
the
you?
problem is, let me
Yeah.
say this: the problem is or the problem is not that these children are, or these young people, they are asking questions. They are
Mm-hmm.
asking the questions because they have a lot of things that are coming to their faces and they don't have answers to. But the challenge today is many parents or many community leaders are not prepared for the answers that these children are asking. So that is where the challenge
All
is.
right. Do you
Exactly.
think then in that case, and did you find that as you were talking to people, to parents in the run up to writing the book, do you think in some ways parents will misconstrue curiosity as rebellion?
Yes, yes, because I've seen some parents that will say, okay, this child doesn't listen to me again. Anything I tell her,
Mm.
she feels that she knows better than I do. And I didn't do that to my parents. Like some feel pressured, some feel like that the children are arrogant to them, but they don't understand that these children are just curious. They want to know. They are
Yeah,
asking,
yeah,
why should
yeah,
I go to bed now when I still feel very much awake? I'm not
yeah,
stressed. And you is
yeah,
now depends on the parent to say, okay, you need to go to bed so that tomorrow you feel more refreshed to
yeah,
attend classes in school. But for some parents, they feel like you are questioning my authority. I didn't do that to my parents. What kind of child are you? So some are struggling with that kind of challenge. So there is need for them
yeah,
to understand that when your child is asking why, it's not because they are rebelling against authority. They are only
yeah,
asking questions. They are only curious. They want to know, why should I do that now? I need help. In as a matter of fact, there are questions, or
mhm,
there are questions. They are why he is beckoning for support. They are
yeah,
asking for support. But some parents don't know that, oh, this child that is asking me why actually needs my support. This child
yeah,
that is asking why needs mentoring. Because if we don't mentor them right, if we don't support them right, there are thousands of online mentors that they are not asking for, that they are directly or indirectly mentoring them online. We have a lot of social media influencers that you don't know that they have access to. They have access to current trends that you don't have access to. They have access to global issues, global trends that you don't possibly have access to.
Absolutely.
So
Yeah.
when we, our parents, feel like, oh, this child is only asking questions that will possibly have, and possibly some parents will say, okay, I've gone out since morning, especially for those that are in the diaspora. I've gone out
Yeah.
since morning. Now I'm coming back this evening, and the next thing is they're asking me why. I think something is wrong with you. So sometimes it's not actually the fault of the parents, but because of the complexities of their own challenges as well, because they
Yeah.
need to meet up with economic challenges or to pay some bills, to do some things, and a lot of things are around them as well. But
Yeah.
if parents can then come to the realization that when a child asks you why, it's
Yeah.
not questioning your authority, but the child actually needs support. The
If they
child needs
need an
mentoring.
answer. And it's
Yeah.
genuine curiosity. It
Absolutely,
genuinely.
absolutely.
Tell me, before we move on to, I want to talk more about your CIC in a bit. But if somebody wanted to buy your book and they were looking at how you'd shift from just authority to understanding, but without losing guidance, is that something that they can find in the book?
Absolutely, yeah, yeah.
Right.
The fact remains that you negotiate not before I say negotiating. You
Mhm.
having a conversation with your child does not mean that you are losing authority,
Yeah.
and that's one of the problems that parenting or parents in the past felt or they had. For instance, I can
Mhm.
remember the time I sat on the table with my dad eating together. Not because there was no table at home, but parents in those days felt like for you to listen to me, you have to be far away from me. That's with the
Right.
belief. Like, okay, when you're far away and I give you authority, then I give you order, then you obey. Some believe that it's because we are sitting on the same table to eat. That's why you are being rude to me, but not
All right.
understanding that that's where they're actually missing it.
That's where the
So yeah.
conversations,
So,
yeah.
but the truth is, when we are parents have relationship, they have conversation, real conversation with their children. They understand their pain points. This is where this child is missing. They understand what the child is going through in school. They understand why this child is becoming silent. This child will always come home before. She will always talk to me. But then when she just comes home, she just goes straight upstairs, not having any conversation with people.
Yeah,
When you
yeah,
check, she says she's reading, but she's not actually reading. She's not studying, but she's going through a lot of trauma. But because you are not available, and because
yeah,
you feel that, oh, when I talk to her or when I have conversation with him, I'll be losing authority. But that's not the truth. That's not the actual truth. When you have relationship with them, you can have you're not losing authority. You're actually gaining
yeah.
the best from them. Yes.
Right. And how does the concept of it takes a village still apply today in modern cities, even actually still in non-modern areas? Does that still apply in your thinking and your understanding now that you've done a lot more? So it takes a village to raise a child, and then I think there's an extension to that. Yeah.
Oh yeah. Oh, thank you. So in one of the chapters of the book, there is a chapter called "It Takes a Village."
Okay.
Yeah, the "It Takes a Village" does not actually mean that it doesn't mean just the fathers, the mothers in the home, the
Mm-hmm.
teachers in the school, the faith leaders in the church or in the mosque. It doesn't mean the people that are in the community only, because today's experience is different from the past.
Uh-huh.
Yeah. In today, we have children are not just relating with their parents. They're not just relating with their siblings. They're not just relating with their grandparents, possibly those are grandparents. They are not just relating with their teachers in the school. They are also relating with issues online. They are relating with online trends that you don't the parents in the past
Mm-hmm.
possibly didn't have access to. They are relating with social media influencers. They are relating with they are dictated citizens, right? So
Yeah.
so it takes a village requires the fact that parents cannot do it alone. Parents, the fact that you have done some studying, some stuff alone, you can't do parenting alone. Teachers in the school can't do it alone. Faith leaders in the church, in the mosque, can't do it alone. People in the community can't do it alone. But it takes a concerted effort, shared responsibility, shared ownership to say, okay, where the parents we have a kind of synergy with the people in the maybe in the church or in the mosque or wherever the person may be worshiping. So they have there must be a kind of concerted relationship, effort to train, to mentor, to listen, not just like, because the challenge with the past used to be that not outrightly, not that when I say the past, it doesn't mean that everything in the past used to be bad, because I can talk about a lot of things that I learned from my parents growing up. Yeah. So
absolutely. Yeah.
So parents and the communities, the faith leaders will need to come together, have conversation, and listen to these people, because we have to build together. We build together, not just building as a solo traveler. So you build, the parents build with the communities build with those are making policies in their community, in the say in the Sheffield City Council, the City Council, leagues, the community leaders, they build also with the faith leaders. So that's when it's a village today can be built, because the village is the village is not dead, right? The village is not just a place, right? Is a place whereby there can be a kind of networking of relationships that will be able to help the community to be a better place for us all.
Yeah, right. In April, you held the Pre-Africa Day event where you also launched your book and you had an awards ceremony. And that is under your banner of the CIC Purposeful Tribe. What is Purposeful Tribe's mission? What is it about?
Oh, thank you. So, Purposeful Tribe CIC, our mission is to see how we can amplify the voices of the people of the community, because our desire is to give voice to the voiceless, is to see how the community can feel valued, can feel served, because it's not just about, we are not existing just because we want to be another charity. We are existing to bring solutions to the society challenges that are happening around, and we is our desire to see how we can give voice to the voiceless and see how the community can be a better place. Yeah, that's the essence of the exist.
That's the purpose, right? And alongside that mission, I don't know how many times you've held the Pre-Africa Day events, but that was a powerful staging, as with a powerful lineup of speakers, a lot of respect, a lot of cultural recognition as well in that space. Walk me through the thinking behind it, and I can honestly say I'm really grateful that I was one of the people that was awarded, and I think it feels good and validating, I think, in a way to be recognized by your peers. So thank you. But tell me what the thinking was and how you arrived at it.
Okay, thank you. So for the Africa Award that we had, we believe that Africa is not just a place, is and when we celebrate Africa Day, which is celebrated every May 25th in the United Kingdom, it's not just about celebrating of people of like showing their dresses, showing their dance steps, showing their food. We believe that Africa Day celebration is beyond all of those things. We believe that Africa Day celebration for Africans, they have a lot to give beyond our dance steps, beyond the food that we eat. Africa has a lot of things upstairs. They have a lot of intellectual capacity, intellectual contribution to the community, and the need to celebrate and not to identify people that are actually making real impact. It's not just about giving awards just to celebrate the day, but it's about identifying who are the people that are making real impact in our society, people that are doing things that can help the younger generation that are coming up, that can give hope to the people that are coming, because the young people that are coming, especially in the diaspora, some are struggling with identity. And if they can't see people that have gone ahead of them, or that they can actually see, oh, if Tchiyiwe is making wave in the United Kingdom, then I can as well. So because mentoring actually is not just all about people that you sit down with one-on-one to talk to, or there's mentoring by mapping and mentoring by mirroring. So there are people that just see you, and they use that to mirror their own lives as well. So we celebrate the people, Africans in diaspora, African in the United Kingdom currently, that are making waves that are that in their own respective fields. And when we do that, we are also telling the younger people that are coming, see, Tchiyiwe is there. You can be another Tchiyiwe. See, this person is there.
Temidire is there. You can be
Temidire
another
is there. You can be another Temidire. So we want them to, while we are celebrating people that are doing well, while we are also showcasing what they're doing better to the world to see, right? We are also empowering, mentoring the younger people that are coming. For every success we have seen, you can replicate. You can even go beyond that. So that's why we did what we did.
That's why you did what you did. And then alongside that was also, it wasn't a conference, it felt like a summit, but I don't know what, a symposium of sorts, with your lineup of speakers. Could you tell our audiences what that lineup, I mean, there was Professor PLO and the academic from Nigeria, lots of wisdom in that space. What was the criteria for choosing them, and who did we have in that room?
Oh, thank you. So for the day, we had the opportunity, the privilege to have the highly esteemed Professor PLO Lumumba from Kenya. Why did we choose someone like that, for instance, to start with? We believe he's someone that is a Pan-Africanist. He's someone that believes in the power of Africa. He believes in the originality of Africa. He believes in the strength of Africa. He believes in the power of Africa. He believes in the greatness of Africa. He's not just saying, oh, I am this, and if Africa is growing or dying is not my business. He speaks passionately about Africa, and is an icon to be reckoned with. And he's someone that can speak to the younger generation that are coming. He's the one that can speak to what we are doing. So we approached him, and we were very happy to have him to be to give his speech. And though he joined us virtually, but he presented it passionately, encouraging us as Africans that do not be silent, speak up anywhere you are. And aside Professor Pierre Lumumba, we had the honor to have also the associate professor, Dr. Olupaimo from Olupaimo Zaki from Nigeria. From why did we choose him as well? He's someone that also supports Africa. He's a professor of African history, he's an actual professor of African history. So he understands what we are talking about. So not picking someone that because of title, but because they understand what we are doing. So their understanding will give us what we actually need to give back to the community. So we went for him. He's someone that he understands what intergenerational conversation is all about. So he understands what African development is all about. So we beckoned for his support to be part of the day, to give the day a meaning, and graciously he accepted to be part of it. And we were honored to have someone like our Professor Dr. Olupaimo also for that day, and everybody like yourself recognized the impact of their contribution for the day.
Totally. And you've said something that I was going to go to, so let's even get into it. The village circle, that is, I mean, we had the intergenerational conversations. Is that what the village circle is? Could you tell us the concept around it, how it works?
Oh, thank you. So for the village circle, the framework was designed as a platform, as a safe space where there can be kind of intergenerational conversation, because like I mentioned the other time, the needed conversation, why we have a lot, the fact remains that the society we did, okay, let me put it this way. We didn't create the village circle because the society lacks ideas,
Yeah.
but we did it because the society or the community lacks the right space whereby the needed conversation can be had.
Mm.
So when we people are not having the right conversation, because the truth is, some may say, well, are we not having a conversation because people are talking on TikTok, people are talking right on Instagram, they're talking on the internet and the likes and the likes. But it's not just about talking, but it's about having the right conversation that can add value to people, the
Yeah.
conversation that can bridge generations. So the intergenerational conversation is needed so that the young people, we know that there is a lot of things I can learn from this from the older generations, and the older generation also understand that, oh, I can listen to these younger generations and see how I can mentor them, how I can know how to support them, because it's not just about it's a collaborative effort, but there is a need for a space to be created for this conversation to be had, and that's why we
Mm.
created the village cycle. And to add this to it,
Yeah.
the truth is, when you check around in the community, sometimes you see the youth not believing in the police, that they believe that the police are policing or just scouting for them to be pinned down, whereby the police are actually looking for a kind of fellowship, a kind of connection to say, okay, how can we support you so that before things happen, how can we support? So that's why we have the village circle framework to bring together the communities, to bring together the parents, to bring fit leaders and generations across board, have the right conversation that can move the community forward.
Right, great. We're getting to that place where we're going to be saying bye in a bit, but let's talk about maybe with leadership. A thread that I keep hearing from you is listening. I think I don't know if you've picked it up, but when it's listening to children, listening to the adults, listening to each other, how does listening play a role in your particular style of leadership, if at all?
Okay, thank you. So gone are the days where people believe that leadership is just about speaking. The part of leadership is not in the art of speaking, is not in the is not in how best someone can actually talk in the community, but
Mhm.
in how better someone can listen, because listening is not just about us. We listen. I'm listening to your social cues. I'm listening to what you're saying without you saying it, without your voice. So, uh, leadership or listening in leadership is the key thing that can actually uh, help leaders to be able to lead effectively. Because it's not just about telling people where to go, but about also listening to their own feedback. And
Mm.
it's not just all about people that are leading, maybe in politics, but also in the home. There's leadership at home.
Yeah.
The leadership at home revolves around the father, the mother. Do parents listen to their children? When parents make mistakes, do they listen to say, "Oh, I'm sorry, I didn't intend uh, to make you do that. I didn't do that intentionally. This is what I was thinking. I'm sorry for what I did." And for instance, let me now connect it to one of
Mm-hmm.
the chapters of the book that I will need to
Mm-hmm.
link into that. One of the chapters of the book was needed to be rewritten because of that part of listening as a leader.
Yeah.
There was a time that my son, at he and the other sister, they have YouTube channels that they do what they're doing, but it's been
Okay.
supervised by myself and my wife. And
Mm.
my son then needed to open another YouTube channel without my consent. So my daughter saw it and said, "Why did you open another YouTube channel without informing dad or mom?" Then she reported him to me. And when I saw it, if it would be in those days, I would have shouted that, "Why
Yeah.
did you do this?" But I understand that shouting is not the solution to it. So I just told
Mm.
him, "Let's talk about it later." But within 20 minutes, he came back with a note and said, and gave me that please read. When I read what he wrote, giving me reasons why he did what he did, then I realized that if I had shouted at him, will have been immense. So, but my ability to listen to him then changed the whole scenario. That if I listen, not just like giving authority or not just like giving orders to children, but
Yeah.
even as parents, you listen to them, get their own feedback. When you're having family meetings as a family, you listen to what your child is saying, listen to their own input. So that will also boost their own confidence wherever they go. So beyond the family, even in the community. So it takes the art of listening, power of listening for good leadership to actually exist. Yes.
Absolutely love that. Thank you. If people were going to be looking to find your work and
Yeah.
maybe engage with you beyond listening or watching this, where should they go? How do they find you?
Okay, thank you. So on our Instagram, and we have some of our stuff on our Instagram, Purposeful Tribe CIC on Instagram, and also on our Facebook account as well. And then for me, my name is Temidire Meroko, even also on Instagram. And about the work that we do, as talking about the book, we have it on Amazon. They can check it on Amazon to get a
Okay.
copy. Those that would like to have a copy, because add a lot of value to them. And for the Village Circle, is a framework that is been developed already, but we are still improving. Like I shared with you prior to the time that we started this
Yeah.
interview, that we'll be having a meeting with the Statute Chair, the Combined Authority, in August, to see how it can be developed further, to see how it
Yeah.
can add value to not only to Doncaster but to the other Statute Chair. Is a
Yeah.
national program. Is not just something
Mhm.
localized. So, but we are starting developing, and it's evolving. So that's about that for now.
Temi, thank you so much for joining us and for such a thoughtful conversation. Many things stand out from today's conversation, and especially that stronger communities don't just happen by accident, that we have to build them through listening and a shared responsibility and the willingness to understand one another across generations. So your work really sits at that and speaks to rebuilding the village as where these conversations begin. So we wish you every success with coping with Generation Y, the Village Circle, and your continued work at Purposeful Tribe CIC. To everyone watching, thank you so much for joining us. If you've enjoyed this conversation, please subscribe to African Voices platform on YouTube and follow us across all our social media channels. My name is Tchiyiwe Chihana, and see you next time.